10 years ago, when we started, things were decidedly simpler. We were a decidedly simpler operation than we are today. Lots of inventing and engineering, and not much bookkeeping, manufacturing, inventory control, or personnel issues. I did mean that. Things have certainly changed for the better, of course, but we are getting to be a very complex business with a wide variety of products targeting more divergent and complicated markets. And the most recent notable example of this is our new line of products called Alloy, targeting the 10 million plus home-built simulator enthusiast market. It's a huge market. It is axiomatic that as one becomes more successful in their profession or their career, the farther away they get from those things that drew them into the profession in the first place. For that and other reasons, beginning January the 1st, I will be stepping away from day-to-day operations and development at Redbird, and a newly organized leadership team will take the reins of the company. My very long-time partner and friend, Todd Willinger, will continue in his role as Chief Executive Officer, steering the company around the rocks and ensuring that Redbird continues to lead our industry in customer service and innovation. And I'm pleased to tell you that Jerry Gregoire will assume the role of President and Chief Operating Officer. Charlie's challenge will be to make sure the company's products and technologies continue to meet the needs of all of our customers and continue our company's inexorable march toward world domination. Since the beginning of the company, Charlie led a sales, design, and marketing effort unlike anything the industry has ever seen. His creativity and leadership has made Redbird one of the most valuable brands in training aviation.
Jerry, we'll start with you. Obviously, changes are afoot at Redbird.
Yep.
If you can summarize just where Redbird has been and where it's going to now.
Well, we're coming up on 10 years that we've been at it. We sold our first simulator in 2008, but we really started working on the company a couple of years before that. So it's been an unbelievable 10 years. We could not have imagined that 8 years after we started shipping simulators, we'd have 1,600 of them running around the world. There's a thing that happens to companies when they reach a certain point. You reach an inflection point where suddenly just the weight of having so large an infrastructure of embedded simulators in the market that a company can begin to think about other things that they can do, because we have a ready market for all the new software we can bring out and all the new devices and add-ons to these simulators. So we're in a new phase, and we're going to continue to grow very quickly. The product line is expanding, and we're moving into a couple of new markets. The next 10 years is going to be a rapid acceleration of the growth of the company.
So what are you going to be doing then?
I'm going to be laying down somewhere with a cold compress on my head, mostly. As I said, we've been at it for 10 years. I'm getting ready to turn 65 in a couple of months. There are other things that I want to be working on. A lot of them have to do with are software related and other projects, and many of the projects are related in some ways with Redbird. I'm still going to be the majority owner of the company, and I'm going to serve as a co-member, the chairman of the board. But the day-to-day operations are going to be up to other guys. I can tell you that most of the good ideas that have been behind Redbird have not come from me. They've come from inside the organization, so I'm feeling very good about more ideas coming out of this team. So.
Todd, what surprises you most about this 10-year span? What was, say, the highs and lows of the experience?
When Jerry and I were out on the ranch in his horse stable, working on the first one, if you'd have told me where we would have been at 5 years or even now, I would have probably have laughed. So the trajectory of this company has been pretty phenomenal. I think what the highs are, however, have been, we're here at our migration conference, and you take a look at the people here, and you see the type of value that we've been able to add into their businesses. I think that's the high that keeps most of us going. And I think those are the things that will continue to drive us, right? As far as what can we continue to do to not just in aviation in general, but specifically to these people who have been, frankly, very loyal to us. I mean, a whole bunch of people at the first Oshkosh saw something in our devices that, in retrospect, when I look at them, I don't see. So they took a great leap of faith with us. Frankly, there aren't a lot of lows. I tell people it's hard to call this a job. When you get to be a technology, if you're a technology person and you get to do the type of technology work we do and hang around airplanes all day long, that's just a pretty fun day. Now, we're starting to get a lot of employees. We've got a whole lot of customers. So it does start to take a little more of a job type feel to it, but it's that creativity and even to a certain extent that creative friction at times that keeps moving the ball forward for us.
Charlie, what kind of threats and threats of physical violence did it take to get Jerry to hand everything over?
Just a few. I don't think we'll go into those, but yeah, this transition has been something that I've looked forward to for some time, and I'm looking forward to the next 10 years, next 20 years, next 30 years, however long it is, and taking this company to new heights. Again, like Todd said, you look at back 10 years ago and say, well, where are we going to be in 10 years? I don't think any of us would have imagined here. And so you look forward to 10 years from now and think, well, where can we go? There doesn't seem to be a limit to it.
Looking back, do you feel that the progression has been all that it could have been, or are there mistakes or bumps in the roads that you really wish you could have gotten around? The lessons that you need to utilize going into the next 10 years?
There's always bumps in the road, but the question is, how do you weather them? How do you push through them? And I think we've done that very well, and we'll continue to do that very well. We'll keep our customers in the forefront of our minds, continue to innovate, continue to push forward, continue to drive the industry in new directions, and hopefully to new heights.
Well, the thing that to me has been notable in working with all of you is that the attitude of pretty good has never been good enough. A good example was the helicopter project. And let's face it, the dynamics of that are extraordinary. Helicopters, from one second to the next, the dynamics change. But you had a functional machine that wasn't good enough, and you just kept whittling and whittling and whittling until you got to a point where you've got a series of dynamics that really do mimic the rotorcraft environment. Yep. That had to be a total bear.
Well, it is, and we, there are probably the single most extraordinary thing about the company and the people that work here is they're fearless. And part of it is nobody ever lost their job at Redbird because their idea didn't work out. We're willing to deal with failed ideas and shortcutting approaches if we don't think we're heading down the right street and start again, and we'll just keep on doing that. And the other thing is I think there has been within the company a real sense of generosity. Our people are very generous with their time and with their talents that don't return in dollars, but return in the kinds of things we think are important.
Aero-TV is brought to you by
Build and fly with the most exciting line of kit aircraft on the market, the Sonex Aircraft B models. The B models offer more room and comfort, more fuel, more panel space, more engine choices, and the same great Sonex Aircraft flight characteristics. Learn more at sonexaircraft.com.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.